So Aditi Kinkhabwala had her thoughts on a quarterback, not Shedeur Sanders, but Kenny Pickett.
Everybody keeps underselling Kenny Pickett because of what happened in Pittsburgh. You just heard Kyle Wilson say how awful his experience with the Jets was. Sam Darnold is a little bit more careful, just like Kenny, and won't say it. But again, look at the model of Sam Darnold. You go to a completely dysfunctional organization, a completely dysfunctional situation. You get a year to reset with an organization. In Sam Darnold's case, it was San Francisco, where top down, everybody actually knows what they're doing and communicates with each other and run a legitimate offense. You learn, you take advantage of that, and then you get a chance and you look like a completely different guy than the guy that was called a bust. Now, I can't see the future. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, Kenny Pickett's going to have an MVP caliber year. But I just really don't understand why no one will give this young man the benefit of the doubt.
Actually, it's kind of interesting. I know Mary Kay Cabot has kind of said the same thing about Kenny Pickett. And again, Browns fans seem to be very dismissive of him. I think he has a chance. I'm not going to say he's the favorite, but if he goes and plays well in training camp, he could be the starter week 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about who's going to be the starter week 1, for me, I think it's going to be one of the veterans. It's either going to be Kenny Pickett or it's going to be Joe Flacco. And as Mary Kay has said before, making a similar argument, like in Pittsburgh, when Kenny Pickett was there was turmoil in terms of Matt Canada was still the offensive coordinator, and they were really struggling in those first couple of years post Big Ben. And famously, in that Monday night 2023 game, the one where Nick Chubb got hurt, the Steelers won that game, and Pittsburgh fans were chanting to fire Matt Canada in that game. And obviously they did that. He wasn't there last year. And I just think there's some truth to that, yes. But the other thing for me is, like, when you talk about dysfunction, I mean, the Browns have had their fair share of offensive dysfunction over the last 3 decades, not just recent years, but the Browns have struggled with their own offense. So to that point, like, I don't know, I can't tell the future either, but like, is it going to be the best situation for him? I think that's all still to be determined as the Browns install this new offense that certainly as concepts we're familiar with. If it looks like what we think it's going to, it's a very quarterback-friendly offense. And I will say the Browns, it seems like, certainly seem to think like he is that type of player, like Sam Darnold, that they get him out of one situation. He went to Philly. He learned a lot in that offense, and working with Kellen Moore, he got a Super Bowl ring, and now he's here. So it's time to show it all. So, yeah, I mean, I think for me, even though fans just kind of want to skip over Kenny Pickett and get right to Joe Flacco, they're still very much in a competition. Like, for me, what is so interesting is I keep thinking about this quote, though, we got from Kenny Pickett about it takes 2 years to be in a system to fully learn it. The problem is he doesn't have 2 years here. Nobody has 2 years here. This is an open competition now. And for Joe Flacco, at this stage of his career, entering year 18, it's an offense he is very familiar with already. It's certainly not going to take 2 years. So for me personally, I would still give Flacco the edge, but I can't say for sure that the Browns don't feel the exact opposite way on this and would give Kenny Pickett the edge. It still is too early to know.